And the most that you'll get out of it is you'll be like 35, 36 with a pretty girlfriend, a nice watch, a nice car, 20 bags underneath your bed, and that's it. But you would have taken so much L's. Your friends would have died. You would have got in some wars. You would have lost years to the system. And if that's all you're gonna get at the end of it, it's not worth it.
Hello and welcome to the Tried It podcast, where we discuss all things from millennial struggles to relationships and love and everything in between. I'm Jade.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Kadisha.
And today we are joined by Babz. Is that what
Yeah.
you're called?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Introduce yourself. Tell us about you.
I'm Babz. I'm a gang intervention worker. I sound mad in here, innit?
No, it's fine.
Good, yeah.
Come on, you're not used to this.
No, not really.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
Yeah. I'm a mentor, councillor, workshop facilitator, and a few other things.
Okay, cool. So
All
we
good
wanted
stuff.
to discuss knife crime, and we
Yeah.
thought you'd be brilliant to come on and talk about that with us.
Thank you.
So not normal to say thank you for things like that, but okay.
I feel honoured.
And so the first thing we want to kick off with is, do you think that knife crime is a prolific problem or just used by the media to stereotype young black men? So we started answering this ourselves, and I said that I didn't ever think of it like that. I just obviously thought, oh yeah, knife crime's bad, because you see it obviously in the media and on news all the time. There was going on about it. But then I watched the Carla's interview. I think he did it with Piers Morgan, and he was talking about how, like, if you use numbers of London, which is a big place, big city, blah blah blah, and you focus on ethnic minority areas, and you do all these things to basically paint it out as young black boys are trouble, it's going to look like that.
Yeah.
If you look at Glasgow and all these other places where it's really like working class white, it's even bigger statistics.
Yeah.
And that's when I started thinking, shit, makes sense. So what is your opinion on that? Where do you stand?
Yeah, New Glasgow's gonna get mentioned. Yeah, I think obviously there's a problem, but like you said, it's not everyone's not at danger, innit? Do you know what I mean? So it's within a certain demographic, and it's not really just black kids. It's more working class, poor environments. You know what I mean? Young boys, regardless of race, colour, creed. You know what I mean? Violence is just part of what comes out of these communities. So I think it's always been around, but I think now the media are putting a torchlight on it. So, you know, it's the topic of the season.
Yeah, definitely agree. And what did you think about, like, this isn't on the agenda by the way, but just out of interest as we're on it, what do you think about like the chicken box stuff that happened?
Do you know what? Because I was part of the Knife Free campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was part of the advocate program. So I was part of the pilot team.
Did they scout you, or did you like?
No, they scouted us.
That's so
Okay,
good.
cool.
Yeah, so they told us about it, but they just said, oh, by the way, we're going to put it on chicken boxes and we're going to put it on billboards. And so it was just like a passing comment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like, I wasn't expecting it to be,
What it was.
yeah, the centre point of the whole campaign.
Totally,
You know what I mean?
totally.
So I don't know what they were thinking when they pressed that button. Like, they were like, yo, we've done it. We're going to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I
If they
did see
just
it on
left
that one
it.
billboard.
No, it was on billboards.
Was it?
Yeah, it was in billboards,
Where?
shop windows, South London.
God.
It was quite everywhere, but I think the problem was when they just rolled it out as if they've done something special. The chicken, if they just done it without any fanfare, it probably wouldn't have got the
True.
response it did.
Agree.
But they just, you know, I don't know who's in charge of their media, but it was poorly done.
That often happens, like even like with the rap game with Krept and Conan, and obviously as viewers you think, okay, cool, this is brilliant, this is a good. But then Krept, I spoke to him at an event, and he said that BBC actually stop you from giving any of the people more than one contract. So you've got one contract with the person who's won the show.
Yeah.
That's only allowed for one song.
Okay.
From there,
That's mad.
they're on their own.
Yeah,
And obviously you hope that by then they've got enough clout and blah, blah, blah to make it happen, but there's no guarantee with that. Like everyone's a rookie. You need at least 10 songs. I don't know how it works, but I assume you need at least 10 things to get some practice. And I feel like this is a similar thing. They probably said to you, we've got, or not you, but people, like a sounding board. We've got initiatives.
Yeah.
What do you think as young black males? Like, what do you think? And you lot would have been like, oh yeah, we need to do something. And they're like, got
They
it.
didn't even ask
Chicken
us.
box.
They told us. they didn't ask us. They just literally told us.
It's just
that this
such
is
a
what they're
like,
gonna do, but-
it screams stereotypes. Like we
does.
know that people think black people
Yeah.
eat chicken and they think young boys eat it as their only meal. So let's put it in chicken boxes.
Do you know
Like,
what it is?
it's
They've
just-
got a PR team. There's with Home Office, it's like you don't deal with them directly. You deal with the PR. So it's like there's too much distance between us and them.
Yeah,
What I'm trying to say, so-
totally.
And I'm not sure that,
Gatekeepers.
yeah, basically. I'm not sure the people that did the PR side of things know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Or say-
And it makes it feel like they just wanted to say, oh yeah, like we had black people who came up with this themselves, you know what I mean? And like, it's like, it was literally just them and they just want to have people there just to say that they did.
Totally. Do you think that there's any real ways? This isn't an interview, by the way, and this
that's
is not
cool.
like
No,
I don't
I'm an
expect you
open
to
book.
have the
I'm an
answers
open book.
at all.
I don't.
Do you think there's any real ways to improve a young black man's perception of the system to help prevent stabbing someone? Because like from everything we see and like
Can you rephrase that? Sorry.
yes, how did it make
explain
sense to
that.
myself? Okay, so from how the system works,
Yeah. When you talk the
prison,
system- all right, cool. yeah.
prison,
The pipeline.
incarceration,
Yeah, yeah,
gatekeepers, all of that kind of stuff. For an ethnic minority young male, it's not in your favour,
No.
as we all know. So what can be done to change their perception? Because I feel like that plays into why why young black men stab each other so freely, if it is happening.
Okay,
because
wait,
it's
so
just
you're
like,
saying the perception of the system, what can the
Like
system do to
distrust
change?
in the system and
I
just in
feel
general,
like,
I think.
I
you
feel
think
like
that's-
the general distrust in society and the systems make people feel less scared to hurt each other. And because they're just like, I'm no one anyway. Do you know what I mean? No one cares about me. So
I get it, but I think that the root of it is so much deeper.
okay, what would you say?
Do you know what I mean? Well, you know, the system thing, I don't know. The perception, it just needs a whole overhaul. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think they could, because there's no point us giving them suggestions if they're just going to paper over the cracks. They need to literally start from the bottom and work around it. And a lot of it is social, economical. Do you know what I mean? Like with a lot of the knife crime, you can't always blame the system. Do you know what I mean? There's so many other factors. And one of the things we're taught in some of the things I've studied is there's a push and pull factor.
Yeah.
So, you know, the push factors are, you know, mental health, environment, just growing up a certain way, drugs, all sorts of things. These are things that a young man has no influence over. Do you know what I mean? Where the pull factor, we can talk about social media, peer pressure, the law of money, fame, all these things. Do you know what I mean? So that's got nothing to do with the system.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
How much of an impact do you think that like social media and
Yeah, that's an
Yeah, the
interesting
pull,
point.
the pull factor is there. No? The social media is a big pull factor because in our day, when I was growing up, you know, like something could happen and it was just in-house. Do you know what I mean? Like only we would talk about it, where now your losses are everywhere.
Yeah.
You take a L and kids that you don't even know about are just
laughing
talking
at you.
about it, laughing at you.
Yeah.
So you really got to kind of,
stand your ground?
yeah,
I think.
yeah. So there's more pressure on them to be something they're not and to retaliate.
Interesting.
I can completely imagine, like, I can completely see how people can get pulled into that life, and if everything's around you and you're growing up and that's what's been around, or maybe your situation at home isn't favourable or something, and that's just there. Like, even when I know it's so embarrassing to like even think back to my little days when I was like, I don't know, 15 or something.
You know, Jade used
When
to be a
I was
gangster.
getting in
Rogues.
fights and everything.
You might actually know her from before.
No, she looks familiar.
I bandaged you up on a block one time.
Literally.
Probably robbed me.
Caught her on a dark night.
But like, even I used to get, you know, because I would constantly be having, well, when I went in certain areas, like I'd have to watch myself. And I remember one
Oh
time,
my God,
taking
Jade had
it-
ops.
when I
Okay.
remember like being in DT, I might cut this out, but like when I was
We're
in
keeping this
DT,
in.
no, I
Keep it,
took
keep
this
it.
little like knifey thing that you would carve the wood, and I would take that out with me.
He's carrying a
And
pen
one
knife.
time my mum found it in my bag. And I was like, Mum, it's just from DT. It's just from DT. And like,
Early
The
intervention.
fact that you took the knife and you was
I
more
know.
scared of your mum
So-
I know.
than the
Like that's, and I did think like if I would get in a fight with this one particular girl, like at least I would have that if things got bad. Like I can, that's like even that's me. Do you know what I mean? Like as cringy as it is, little white me living in Barnet.
Out, we
like,
didn't even need Babz.
Yeah.
We had the real road.
Do you know what I mean?
so like, I can completely imagine how you get pulled into it and you feel like you don't have another option.
Yeah.
Like that, you just have to do it.
Fuck, that's
Well, if Jake can
mental.
relate, then
Honestly, no, it's not even funny. That's actually a serious
Yeah.
thing. To feel that you're that
Yeah.
endangered
Yeah.
that you need to carry something
Yeah.
to make you feel safer. That's crazy. And exactly like you said, for you to feel
Yeah.
that. So times that by 1,000 and that's how these young men are feeling. Mental. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. That
You might
threw
cut
me.
that out. It's just so
No, don't
cringy
cut it
to
out,
me.
don't cut it out.
Yeah, it's real. Trust me.
Yeah, keep it.
Okay. So can you tell us a bit about your organisation and like maybe stave like what the organisation is, but maybe explain what led you there.
All right, cool. Which one first?
What led you there?
I just had enough. I was like, you know, been through the system, the streets, and I was getting more L's than wins, you know what I mean? Not like in terms of things happening to me, but you know, you're just like, you're going in circles and you're like, oh, this ain't working no more. Do you know what I mean? Like, this ain't working.
Like, what's this really getting me?
Yeah, like my friends are in jail, friends died, and my family's looking at me funny now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the hero no more. I'm that uncle, I'm that brother that's not.
The black sheep.
Yeah, basically, you know what I mean? So I think I've always had potential, and I thought, do you know what? Let me just try something different. So I phoned a friend and I said, do you know what? I need a job. And he was like, we've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you for years. I got something for you. So I went to his office and got the job. I didn't even know what it was. It's just some office thing, so whatever. So I'm in there. It turns out it's supported housing.
was you doing that only at this point, or was you still dabbling one foot in?
No, I was doing little things.
Okay.
Literally, the week I started work, I done that anyway.
A move.
But yeah, I was all right.
Yeah, I was trying to set you up.
I was all right. Like,
Sorry, subtitles.
I was buying everyone lunch, you know, like that.
yeah.
I was buying everyone lunch and doing
I
all
got
the
that.
most,
I got
yeah.
that.
So supported housing. So I was like a PA to the manager. So I remember just having like, papers on my desk and just trying to fight through them. So then I didn't really know the nature of the work. I just knew they worked with vulnerable people. So there was a situation where one of the support workers had to go to a property, and manager was like, "Oh, Sadiq, can you go with him?" I was like, "Yeah, cool." Follow them. Then one of the service users was just kicking off. You fucking this, you fucking that. You lot don't do nothing for me. So I'm like, well, what's wrong? Like, talk to me.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got to the end of the road, he was crying. Do you know what I mean? Like, he told me everything about his mum, how his mum went jail, left him alone with abusers and all these things. So my colleague was just like, he's American. He's like, how'd you get him to talk like that, man?
Yeah.
So he went back to the office, told my manager, Sadiq, look, he got through to him. And she was like, how? And I'm like, I've been
Treat
around
him
people
like a
like
human.
this all my life. I've been in jail. I've been in
someone that
bandos.
understands.
Do you know what I mean? I've been in supported housing myself. Literally, I was in supported housing for 2 years. So I know the system in that department. So she got me on the books. And then because of my relatability, it was just kind of easy for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, people was gravitating towards me. And then we kind of specialised in gang members at the time. So I was getting lots of probation referrals. And a lot of them knew me. Do you know what I mean?
God.
Like, I knew a lot of them knew me. And it was just like, yo.
But
when I
what's
talk
going
to
on,
people-
family?
Did that make it harder though that you knew them? Because kind of like they don't want to open up.
No,
because,
at first, it's boundaries. I had to learn
Yeah.
boundaries because I weren't professional at all. I weren't professional. I was literally like harbouring them. Do you know what I mean? They're coming around to the property tomorrow, so make sure you ain't got nothing around them.
Oh, wow.
All of that.
That's hard because like
Yeah.
if you know
Do you
them,
know what?
especially like
Exactly, because the thing is, like, there's a couple people in the media, like Lippy, and like a couple other people that I really, really respect because they're.
Lippy's my brother, man. Big him
Oh
up.
yeah, literally. I'm not going to
Yeah.
big him up because I don't know him, but
up
you can.
Lippy.
There you go. But I looked at the camera as well. Like, can I? But I feel like someone like Lippy, for example,
Yeah.
they don't compromise their reality
Yeah.
and their relatability
Yeah, that's
to.
why I love him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. However, I can so understand how there's such a fine line because they're so quick, especially from this demographic of men. I like you're saying as well about, you know, on social media, it's quick that if you get an L, everyone's going to know about it. It's pride, all of that. Egos are already quite fragile.
Yeah, of course.
If you're coming over doing BBC and talking about knife crime and all that, they're going to be like, what's happened to you, man? Like, what's going on? All of that. So has that ever happened to you? Does that play into it?
Yeah, it does. But I've been forced to change because I've got good mentors. That's the good thing about the position I was in. I got good mentors. So there's certain situations that happen with service users where I lost my temper. You know what I mean? Like I literally was acting just like I would in a normal situation. And then after I kind of reflect and think, do you know what? Like, he's vulnerable. I shouldn't really switch like that. I'm supposed to be professional. And it took me about a year into the role before I kind of ironed out a lot of because it's my ego a lot of the time.
Exactly.
It's just my ego. Because I'm thinking, you got to respect me. Like, don't think because this table's here and I'm on this side and you're on that side, you could talk to me.
I won't put you through it.
So, exactly. So,
Don't look at me.
so with that, but now it's not really, I just realised that I just need to take the chip off my shoulder and just humble myself. It's not about me, it's about them.
That's why I say I feel like it's the system societal thing because I feel like these egos of these young men, specifically from ethnic minority backgrounds, is damaged because of what society's done to you. Like, society does blackball you instantly and if something kicks off, you're the one to blame.
You got a chip on your shoulder, definitely.
Instantly.
Definitely
So then it's like,
got a
it all
chip on
comes
your
back to that, how I see it. Like,
But
personally.
the thing is, I'm about accountability. We can't always blame the system for everything. Do you know what I mean? We got to, everyone talks about the government, but you got to be the government of your own house. Do you know what I mean?
Very
Because
true.
I got two sisters. They grew up in the same house as I did. They didn't go to jail. They're both graduates. Do you know what I mean? So
Big up
obviously,
them.
there's two different. I'm a guy. They're females. Different scenarios, but there's people that lived in the same estate as me that never got in trouble.
And we've
Do you know
had
what I
this
mean?
sort of type of conversation before where we were saying how people can grow up in the same house and go different ways.
Exactly.
And we were saying, is it like genetics or is it like your environment or is it just you as a person?
There's so many factors, so many. And it's just, I got to take accountability. I made the wrong decisions. I chose to be who I was. Obviously, I got pain. Do you know what I mean? There's obviously a lot of my decisions were driven by pain. But I still chose to do what I did.
Take that step. Yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like, the system, there's so many things that they could do to help. And I don't think they're doing it. But us people, we've got to stop being so reliant on external forces. Do you know what I mean? We're so reliant on people to come and save us and fix our problems. And
it's like when you see them, I don't know what the show's called on TV. Is it called Question Time? There's like bare people and then there's
politicians.
And then the people is like, the government needs to stop knife crime. The government needs to do this. No, tell Daquan, get your backside at home at 6 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? How is Boris supposed to stop knife crime when it's your son that's out on the streets?
Exactly.
For what? What are you on the streets for at 6 o'clock?
I've seen certain mums like they harbour and they enable.
They're in denial.
They enable.
Well.
Like I got, you know what I mean? Like growing up, some of my friends' mums, they let us get away with lots of things. Do you know what I mean? So when things happen,
But do you feel like this is an interesting one? When a man gets to a certain age, boy, man, like 17 or something, is a big lad, and his mum's there, and I 100% agree. Up to this point, she's done certain actions which has led him there, most likely. But if he's like trying to take something from the kitchen sink, and she's like, "Don't leave the house with that," and he's like, "Shut up." Can she really do anything?
Yes,
No, she can't.
It's his mum.
Yeah, but so
there's
he can hit
certain
her.
levels, but I couldn't go and take a knife out my kitchen and my mum see me.
No.
Not
And she's just
at
gonna
no
say,
stage of
don't
my
leave.
life. Do you know what I mean? No matter what I was up to on the streets, like she's seen things.
Yeah.
She's seen things. Like my mum's seen guns, but I've had to chat the most shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's never been a thing
not
where
mine.
she's just left me to my own devices. Like she's had a go at me. She's ripped my clothes.
Yeah.
She's
That's what I'm
done.
saying.
You know what I mean?
That's what
She's
Daquan needs.
she's done all sorts. Like my mum, she will try to fight me if I try to walk out of the house with a knife. Do you know what I mean? So if it got to that stage where you're telling your mum, shut your mouth, something's gone wrong.
Very
And,
wrong.
agree.
and that's most likely the parenting. Do you know what I mean?
High five.
She's always on about parenting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always down to
All right,
the parenting.
okay.
I-
Can you calm it, please?
Because I know killers that are still scared of their mum.
Literally.
You know
what I mean?
Yep. Okay,
No
we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to that in
No-
1 second.
no
1
exaggeration.
second. I hear what you're saying about the killers thing.
Yeah.
But like it's a minor. But I just feel like then there's a bit of a disconnect then. Like if you are killing people, but you're scared of your mum,
Yeah.
like what's happened there? Do you know what I mean?
But that's the thing. It's so. All right, I've been in jail for manslaughter. Yeah. Now, when the incident happened, like I didn't deliberately kill no one, but when it happened, I went and slept comfortably that night. I had no qualms at all.
I
Do
do. I
you know
believe
what I'm
that's
trying to say?
possible,
And the only issue was when I heard my cousin got arrested. That's when my belly was doing the madness. You get me? And I just cut out the country.
Yeah.
So, but I remember talking to a probation officer when I come out of jail. And she was like trying to ask me questions about what happened and whatnot. And it's almost like she was trying to project her own feelings onto me, like how I'm supposed to feel about it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You know, like, so you, and you, and I'm thinking,
And you didn't
"Rah,
feel
like,
anything from
yeah,
that?
because
Yeah.
from a young age, I knew I was going to be violent. I've conditioned
a
myself to
temper?
be, bad
As a
one.
child.
A bad one. I knew I was going to hurt people. So there weren't no surprises.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But then when it comes to your mum being disappointed in you and stuff, you've not conditioned to feel that, I guess. So that's
it's
why.
always, like when your mum being disappointed of you, it's like you always want your mum to be proud of you. But you are who you are, innit? Do you know what I mean? So that's the problem. Like seeing my mum upsets me. But when I'm out in the streets, she's not stopping me.
She's not on your mind.
Yeah, like when you get to a certain level where
There's so much
you're like
in it.
15, 16 and she can't hit you no more, and then it's just a lecture and then you can kind of worm your way around the lecture. It's almost like you can kind of just and you don't do things thinking you're gonna get caught anyway.
True.
Do you know what I mean? You always think God's on your side or you're gonna bust case, and
Literally.
you never. If I knew my mum was gonna find out, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But you never think anyone's gonna get.
Do you feel like, in terms of like, this is like general, it is specific to like knife crime and stuff, but also general kind of things like illegal activity, do they go hand in hand?
With what?
With like, does like selling drugs, for example,
Yeah.
or being violent and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, okay, being violent is an easy one, but selling drugs,
Yeah.
can that easily lead to stabbing someone?
That's probably one of the biggest reasons why people get killed. Not even stabbed, shot.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a drug dealer, yeah?
Yeah.
And a lot of people see drug dealers with like lots of money and whatnot, but you have to understand that
What comes
a
with
lot of that money is not theirs. It's literally consignment. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I give you this, you bring me back this. So
Yeah.
you might see me with it, but majority of it's going somewhere else so that I can get more. What happens if I get robbed?
Well, we've seen it in Top Boy.
Yeah. If I get robbed, do you think
And they're coming for
my
you.
plug is listening to any talk?
Yeah.
He's gonna say, do you know what? What are you doing about that? Because
Yeah.
I need my readies. Because a lot of the time he's got
Someone above
Yeah.
him.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how it works. So the pressure on you
Totally.
to violate, to get revenge is high.
Yeah.
And then not only that, you don't want to get robbed again. Do you know what I mean?
And now your family's at
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah.
Because if you're shot in and you're seen to be weak or
Yeah.
you're seen to be like a victim,
Because there's
they'll
no
go do
rules
it
on the
again,
road.
yeah.
they're gonna do it again.
It's true.
And it will always happen.
And
to you.
also, I feel like when you are like that, when you've made decisions that you know are very risky and could lead to huge consequences, your whole comfortability with risk and danger
Yeah.
changes. You just become normal in certain
Yeah.
environments. And so that's why taking the steps that you once thought was mad, like actually picking something up to harm someone, becomes like normalized completely. So this is actually something I want to speak about with you as well as women. Like dating men who are not about the life, but are in this kind of life. How do you like, and you as well, what do you feel about that? Like,
you
where
don't
do you
love it.
Do you know
Yeah.
what?
You don't love
Not
it.
me.
Do you know
but
what's
I'm just
funny?
saying.
The other day I said to my friend, I said, if I was to
When are you
ask you
gonna
what my
say this?
type is, what would you say? And she was like, tall, dark, beard, criminal history, but working on himself. And I was like, right, she knows me.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
But I don't pick them like
my
that.
friends say that as well.
Can I break that down?
I don't pick them
Can I break
like
that down?
that.
Because I used to that used to confuse me.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I've got a real solid proof
That
theory,
used to
so you
that
go
used to
and then
confuse
I'll...
me.
Yeah, my friends is
But
exactly
now, my thing is, don't be ashamed of that, because your biology is working on a base level. Now, all it is just that you have to find, because a lot of those traits that you like is just alpha male traits.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? The
And you said that
confidence,
yourself,
the
you like masculinity.
the assertiveness, being a goal-getter,
Yep.
providing, all
Ambition.
these things. A lot of it is just primal. Is what I'm trying to say. But obviously,
what it is,
a lot of us, well, people that are criminals have these traits.
Yeah.
But it's all about tailoring it and finding it in someone that's not
100%.
a criminal.
Yeah.
But you have to,
Anymore.
the thing is, you just have to recognize what you like, because a lot of women, if you ask them what they like on paper, they'll tell you some bullshit. But what they end
Tall,
up
dark,
with,
and handsome.
yeah, what they end up with is totally different, and they can't reconcile it.
true, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's time for it's for them to make educated choices and say, all right, cool, I know I like these type of people, but these people are going to get my door kicked off.
Trust me.
So
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
there's someone in the city
Yeah.
with these type of traits, or
Yeah.
someone in the
Literally.
fitness industry, or you know what I mean?
It's not
But
about
you know
what you
what,
like
though?
and what's
What?
good for you.
I feel like that, the
Yeah.
reason that not these women, but sometimes women, don't look at me, are going for the criminal
Yeah.
side of those traits
Yeah.
is about a self-value thing. It's like, I know I should be going for a man that is like this, this and this. And yeah, he might have those traits and whatever, but this guy, not is easier to get, but is like, I don't know, I just feel like, because if you're thinking that because
But
when you're
they're
going
not
out with
easy
that,
to get.
I don't-
yeah, but
I
when
don't
you're
know
going
about
out
it's
with
just-
that,
I don't think
all
it's a
the
self-value
time.
thing.
yeah,
you
but
know?
when you're going out with someone like that, yeah, you know, at some point you realise
you're at
that
risk
you're
as
putting
well,
yourself in
yeah.
risk.
Yeah,
True,
yeah.
we can all agree. At some point, when he's asking you, hold
Yeah, if
that
you're
for me,
getting
count that for me,
involved, yeah.
blah
Okay.
blah blah.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Nobody's ever asking Kadisha to hold a damn thing.
Okay, I'm not talking
it
about
does
you though.
happen
I'm not
often,
talking about
though.
you.
I have-
No,
Yeah.
there has to be cognitive dissonance to carry on
Definitely, that's what
in
I'm
the
saying.
situation. But,
Thank you.
But I
Keep hitting
don't
this.
always think it's a self-value thing. I think a lot of women are
like
fixers.
him.
I think they're
Come back.
fixers. I think they feel like
Yeah.
he would change eventually.
Yeah.
And
But why is
keep
it her job to fix you?
No, but
not,
that's how
'Cause
some of
what
them are.
Yeah,
society
it's
tells
true.
us we're good.
And I do think, yeah, honestly, that women like excitement.
Yeah.
So
that's
even if they could end up with a guy that's normal and straight, but he won't feel alive. She won't feel alive. Do you know what I mean? She'll be bored. If you're that way inclined,
Yeah.
you're gonna always like what you like, or
Yeah.
you're just gonna settle.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? And just
True.
hope that you don't cheat,
Oh,
but you will cheat.
Yeah.
Oh
whoa.
wow, okay.
That's
This is
another
taking a turn.
topic.
Okay, yeah, no, I do hear what you're saying, and I really want us to remember the bit he said about going for the people with the same traits in different environments. That could be the key.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway anyway. Can you tell us a bit about your organisation? So you told us the story, like what
Yeah.
led you there and that. So what is the
All
organisation?
right, I represent two organisations. One's called Pathways. They're based in Croydon, so it's basically supported housing, but we specialise in, or we used to specialise in rehabilitating gang members. The other organisation I work for is AP Foundation, specifically working around rehabilitation.
Okay, cool.
If you could give 3 pieces of advice to either like the government or people that are involved in knife crime, like what would 3 pieces of advice would you give?
All right.
Is that not something you get asked a lot?
Not really.
Really? I thought that's like number one
Yeah.
question.
Do you know what it is? I feel because I don't like generic answers
Yeah.
on questions. Like, so when I talk to the youth,
Tailor it.
I have to tailor it. You can get 12 youths out on the streets and get 12 different issues and reasons why they're out here. Do you know what I mean? So you have to kind of, all it is that they just have to know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? That the fun, if they're out here because they've been told that this is the path to success, there is no success. There's literally a dead end. Do you know what I mean? And anyone telling them any different is lying. And the most that you'll get out of it is you'll be like 35, 36 with a pretty girlfriend, a nice watch, a nice car, 20 bags underneath your bed, and that's it. But you would have taken so much L's. Your friends would have died. You would have got in some wars. You would have lost years to the system. And if that's all you're gonna get at the end of it, it's not worth it because you can go to college or uni and get all of that
and
with
stability
stability. Do you know
and
what
a
I mean?
pension.
Yeah, because you get to my age and you're meeting your friends from school that you thought were dickheads and now they're CEOs and they're up and you're like, do you know what I mean? So you got to kind of, you're not cool no more. You're, you know what I mean? So, and they just don't have to. Do you know what? I want to reserve the advice. I can't.
Okay.
Has there been any points where you've been like, fuck this straight life?
Yeah,
good question.
I felt like that.
Doing
Loads of times.
Rather hit the road and
loads
make
of times. This at the beginning, especially. Like, I remember like crying sometimes. Like, this is long. This is long. Like, what am I doing? But I just thought, what's the alternative? Do you know what I mean?
Trust me.
And then the main problem was people that I have problems with. What happens when I see them?
Yeah.
That was the main. I have problems with a lot of people now, but there's a couple people that I weren't prepared to see, and I've seen both of them. And one of them, we actually spoke.
Oh,
Do you know what I
wow.
mean? We spoke.
That's
It was civilized and it was, you know what I mean, it was a good conversation. I won't say good conversation, but we had a...
As good as it
Yeah,
could
it was,
be.
yeah. And the second person I saw, we had a fight. So it was like, do you know what I mean? I was embarrassing myself afterwards because I remember...
Come so far.
Yeah, and I remember going in my office with coffee all over myself. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, do you know what I mean? Outside Costa.
You see them when you was at work and that?
Huh?
You seen that person while he was at work?
Yeah, I was on my way to
Obviously,
work.
you're going to be caught
I thought
slipping.
you meant like on a weekend out or
No.
something.
I was on my way to work. I was on the phone, had a coffee in my hand.
Oh, God.
And I just seen,
Latte
and it was
or
just like,
something.
flip sake, and I ain't seen the person for years. And, you know what I
But
mean?
sometimes like there's nothing you can say. You could even be like, look, clearly like I'm not about this anymore. Like I'm just
Nah,
trying to
but
get
it
on with my
wasn't-
day, but
that's
they're
the
not
thing.
trying to hear that.
It's not even like the person was
Yeah.
trying to fight me. It's like me, I've got the problem.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
That's
But
interesting.
when I thought about it, I thought, do you know what? I should just let that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it was embarrassing because I remember a mutual friend rang me and they were like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? What are you doing? Like, because he's gone back and told the person, but he told the truth. Like, he didn't exaggerate nothing. He just said it how it was, which kind of made me feel like, all right, cool. He's not trying to chat shit, but you know. So obviously, I'm still a work in progress, but I hope that I can react better in situations.
What advice would you... Okay, I know you're going to... Okay, let me say advice. Is there anything for the families of men or women who are about this life? Because it's so destructive to the families, as you know. And that's something that I feel like doesn't get spoken about at all anymore.
Yeah.
It's literally just about the person. How can we rehabilitate the person? But it's like when you have a family member who goes to prison, you're pretty fucked from that as well.
That's a difficult one as well because I could say to them, be patient, hold tight, be there. But then when does the line draw?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because some people are just CUNTs.
Oh, boy.
Regardless, do you know what I
can
mean?
say it if you want.
Yeah, and I work with these type of people. And they ain't got no intention of
And
changing.
selfish. It's very selfish.
Do you know what I mean? So that's the thing. We're not all the same. Do you know what I mean? So I can't give that advice to one family because that advice might be detrimental to that family.
Exactly.
Because someone might be so toxic, you have to walk away. Do you know what I mean? You have to walk away. I'm lucky I had a good support network. Like,
I'm an advocate for that.
Walking away.
What?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, if it's detrimental to you and your health is going and whatnot, you know what I mean? How many mums have been hospital
mate,
with high blood
trust
pressure
me, trust
and
me.
all these things that, do you know
Siblings.
what I mean? Yeah, of course. Like, I didn't realise how much it affected my family until later. Do you know what I mean? My mum sold her house because she said she's tired of police coming to the house. She said she can't live there no more. Do you know what I mean? She's still got PTSD to this day. Do you know what I mean? If I'm around my mum and my phone rings,
She stares at you.
she don't just stare. She's like
On edge.
Who's that?
shaking. Yeah. Then if I walk out the room and I come back, she's like, "Is everything okay? Is everything okay?" And I have to say, "Mum, cool. I'm all right
Just
now."
dominoes.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? I'm just going
Uber's
out.
outside.
We're all right, but she's so scared. Do you know what I mean? She's so, like, she's proud of me, but even now I can still see that little fear when,
Totally.
if I say I'm going out and she's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I've got childcare." She's like, just be careful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Did you guys have a conversation once you changed jobs and everything? Did you have a conversation with her about like what was going on, and or did you just she kind of could see that it had changed?
I think there was a lot of false dawns with me. So I think I just had to go through it.
And not say anything for a
Not
while.
saying nothing.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? Because it's always like, yeah, I'm doing all right now. And she's thinking, all right. And then next thing you know,
Yeah.
there's a problem.
100%.
So
What about like friends and that?
Yeah.
Do you still have the same friendship group, or you had to
Do you think
distance
it's
yourself from
possible?
that? Excuse
some,
me.
some
Sorry,
people
sorry.
don't like me no more.
So people don't like you anymore.
No.
Is it because of the thing I said about talking about things and it being
No, I just think,
and
do you know what it is? Like, some people benefit from you
Yes.
when you're a monster.
Trust
Do
me.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when I was a monster, I was beneficial to people because it's like you could.
Would they use you as like their Rottweiler?
Yeah, basically. Do you know what I mean? But I'm more than that. I've always been more than that.
Yeah.
But people like that perception. So
Yeah.
if you don't know me, you might think I'm just a pit bull. But to my inner circle, I'm your advisor. I'm your this. I'm your that. I'm way more. Do you know what I mean? And I think
Podcast
people wanted to
guest.
exactly. You know what I mean? Honoured. I think like people like to keep me like
Boxed
that,
in and
boxed
stuff.
in. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So some people had a problem with me evolving. Some people got on with it, you know, like they're proud of me.
Yeah.
But a few people.
What they don't understand is you can still be beneficial from over there, from
Yeah,
where you
but-
are now. Like,
Even not in the
People
sense
don't
that they
like
wanted.
it.
Trust me.
You know what it is?
And no one likes to see you shining if they're of that mentality.
That's what it is. A lot of people, you know, like the streets, yeah, it's a breeding ground for narcissists.
Trust
Like
me.
a lot of us are narcissists, and we're all like the center of our own universe. Do you know what I mean? So in every, you know, it's the saying, right hand man. So everyone's got their right hand man, but no one's the man
Yeah.
on the right hand. If that makes sense.
Totally,
Do you know what I mean?
totally. No
Everyone's
one
the-
likes to be the number two.
Yeah. So I think like when people see that you're clearly getting acknowledgement and you're doing certain things, it makes them feel uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean?
I
Makes them
agree.
feel uncomfortable. So I think a lot of the things that's happened with me in the last 2 years, it's made some people feel uncomfortable.
so you got all new friends now.
No, I still got some old friends, just trimmed it down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
It's just been
How
some,
do you make the new friends? Because I know that as you get older and you're sort of in environments that you once wasn't in, how do you make friends with these people? How do you know, yeah, I can get on with this person? Yeah,
I
they're
can
my
get on
wavelength.
with anyone. I can get on with anyone. I choose if I want to get on with you or not. I'm not an argumentative person. I feel like I've got good energy. So if I bring bad energy, or if there's bad energy in the room, it's more time because I've brought it. You know what I mean? I'm cool.
At least you're
Do you know what I
honest.
mean? I'll get on with people, but I've still got my guard up. I'm not trying to be friends with everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't.
It's true.
I just literally, I'm just a homeboy. I just like going home, seeing my kids, and that's it. I'm not really sociable. There's not much I need from people. So if it's networking, I'm all for it. But when the phone calls get to like, so what you on then? Then it's like, nah, let's stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I hear that. I hear that. Okay, just quickly, do you think drill music has anything to do with anything that goes on?
Sure. My definition of drill, drill is a reflection of what's going on, but it's not the cause. But drill, I've said this before, drill is very, very primal. It's tribal music. It's war cries.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? It's just the beats of war.
So would you say something's happened, something's popped
Yeah.
off, you've just seen something mad happen, you go back to your yard, you slap that on, that can potentially get you in the mood to go out and do something mad.
I wouldn't say it will get me in the mood because if it's time to ride,
No matter
I'm
what
not
you would do.
thinking
that.
about
Listen
music.
to
Do you
Beyonce.
get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I don't think. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's getting me in the mood, but it's a accessory to my mood. It's not something. It's not a
Yeah.
focal point. Do you know what I mean?
It's not the initiator.
No, it's not. But it's just like when I feel like there's too much emphasis on drill.
There
But
is, yeah.
I could be in a shop and I could see the most nerdy kid doing all of that, reciting lyrics.
They're
He's
not-
probably a good student.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's
That's
going
me.
back-
That student's
Yeah.
me.
You know what I mean? So,
or Jade by the
You know what I
sounds
mean?
of it.
and if you go back in history, because I've been watching some documentaries on some like old gang members. like Crips and Bloods that just come out of jail, and they're like the smoothest guys you'll ever see, like top hats, long overcoats, walking sticks, and they listen to like Temptations and all of that. Like they're proper smooth, but these are killers.
Trust me.
These are people that's got 4 or 5 bodies.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
true.
So I can't.
It's not like the Cray Twins were listening to drill, is it?
Exactly. They're listening to Sinatra.
Yeah.
So I think there's too much emphasis on drill. I'm not saying that it's the frequency. Don't get me wrong. The frequency is not good. I can't say it's a good frequency. I wouldn't want my children.
Like it's
listening
not
to
deterring
drill.
people from it.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's not.
it's, in that sense, it's not.
It's not. But
Great.
I feel like as well it glamorizes the lifestyle.
Yeah, could do.
I don't know if it glamorizes it. I think it's just a
I don't
reflection.
think it glamorizes it.
I think it's a reflection. Because
Okay.
I don't see nothing glamorous about being stabbed.
Yeah.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
But to the interpreter, it's like you
Yeah.
said, that nerdy kid in the shop dancing along, singing it, not knowing what the words are. And it's like, yeah, this is a sick beat, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
And I feel like
little
there
do
could
they
be
know
a
they're
sense
saying.
of like if you were kind of like the winner in that situation or whatever, if something did go down.
I think we don't listen to any lyrics of any songs because do you know what I realised the other day? You know, Bust Down Tatiana? He says, I tried to kill myself 2 times, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
Who knows when they're doing all of this?
Yeah.
No one's listening to the words. The guy
True.
literally said, I tried to kill myself twice.
Yeah.
And everyone's singing it in the club, getting bent over.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
right.
that's
You're right.
That's true. Fair enough.
You're right. It is dark. It is dark music, but I just feel like we have to move away from that discussion. Do you know what I mean? Because there's
It's another scapegoat for.
yeah,
Yeah.
We need
There's
to
bigger
just-
issues that are
we-
contributing.
what we need to work on is
Yeah, this is it. Go on. This is the gold.
reducing the amount of ACEs,
Which
that-
are
adverse childhood experiences.
okay.
So the statistics say that anyone with 4 or more ACEs, the risks of them being obese, the risk of them dying early, the risk of them getting cancer, the risk of them being victims of rape, murder, various statistics.
That makes
of
so
things.
much
Trust
sense.
me.
It
Let's
is
say 4 or
examples of
more.
ACEs.
4
Yeah.
or more.
And that's so easily achieved to
Yeah,
do.
so
Trust
if
me.
if you get time, there's a questionnaire. There's different questionnaires online, and there's usually about 18 questions. I don't know, about 15 to 18 questions, ranging from if you've
Single
moved,
parent,
if you moved, single parents,
moved area,
divorce,
changed school.
if you've been abused as a
Domestic
child,
violence at the
domestic
home.
violence, all these things.
bullied.
and at the end it
bullied.
says, you're going to be a serial
Yeah.
killer.
Literally.
And then there's one, for example, there's some study that shows that growing
Have
up.
you watched Making a Murderer, by the way?
No,
You should watch
no.
it because it
Yeah?
touches a lot of what you
Okay.
just said.
There's a study that shows growing up in a rough area is akin to growing up in a war zone, and it affects the brain development of a child, and it actually shows the brain and how it should be and how it is. Do you know what I mean? So imagine growing up in that
fascinating,
tension of
yeah.
if I walk to the
You're
shops, if I walk-
hypersensitive to
yeah, do you know what I mean?
things. Yeah,
so these are the things that we need to work on
But
reducing.
equally, that should show you how A, amazing human brain is, and B, how you can thrive in certain scenarios because
Yeah.
you're already made.
Yeah.
So, like some of the friends I
Oh.
have who are from certain backgrounds, they thrive in
We're the best.
because you know how to do
We're the
everything.
best. Our situational awareness
Trust me.
is second to none. You can tell you how many cameras are in the room
Exactly.
within seconds.
Yep.
We're like mini Jason Bournes.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean?
true,
Like
true.
number
Totally,
plates,
Totally.
phone numbers.
And you're good at maths.
maths.
Oh, mate.
Do you know what I mean? Psychology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reading behaviour.
people,
Yeah.
Reading behaviour. We've got lots of transferable skills.
Totally.
And the main problem is
Shame
just-
can't put any of it on
That's
the
why they
CV
say,
because you have to
drug
say how you
dealers
get
could
that.
be CEOs.
They
because
can,
They're
yeah.
they
super
can.
smart.
Yeah,
But the problem
totally.
that happens is that when we talk, this is what happens. I get a lot of young men that come and see me. And the first thing is, you can already see from their body
Posture.
language that they're defeated. So I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your thing? Construction.
Who told you?
Why
that?
is
Do
that
you
your
really
thing?
want to do
Yeah,
construction?
literally.
Because I don't want to do construction.
Yeah.
What person wakes up and says they
It's
want to
my
do construction?
dream.
You know what I mean? After being on the roads.
Trust me.
So they're like, yeah, but I need a job in it. So I said, so what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Don't tell me what they've told you.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
available. What do you want to do? And they don't know. So I'm like, look, when you was out on the streets, you gave yourself a name. That is your ego. You wanted to be great. Do you know what I mean? You gave yourself a character and a persona that was based around greatness. And now you're here telling me you want to do construction. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but that ain't you.
Trust me.
So what do you want to do? And you realise that a lot of them have just shrunk into a shell and tried to kill that ego and that desire to be great.
That
And
childhood creative ambition of I can and all that.
And if you notice, that's why a lot of them go into music, because music is like, you can almost
It's an
keep
outlet.
the same level of like credibility, creativity, freedom of expression, but not have to commit crime.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of them like to go into the arts.
And you can talk
media.
freely about
Yeah.
your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I just tell people, like, be yourself. Like you like me being me is my USP.
Trust me.
They don't want me to be no professor. Do you know what I mean? I could talk like a professor, but me being me is my USP. That's what I'm getting paid off. Do you know what I mean? So, and they need more people like me, because I'm not the only person that can do this. I'm not unique. Like, there's loads of, I keep telling people that I'm not some, like, I'm special, but you know what I mean? Like, we're all special. We all can come in and make a difference and get paid off being ourselves. You know what I mean?
Lastly, did you watch Blue Story?
Oh, you
True story, no.
beat me to it,
Did
mate.
you not watch it for a reason?
This has to be
Do you
the
know what
last
it is? Yeah, I'm one of them people. Yeah, I'm very, very critical. So I don't want to criticize it. I need to just leave it alone. Do you know what I mean? Because I've lived it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I just don't know.
Because I was having a talk with my neighbour who grew up around the area that was in the movie, and he was saying that, because I was like, the movie was great, it was good, I really enjoyed it, you know, I think Rapman's done a really good job, and he was like, I weren't impressed. And I was like, are you a hater or what? And I just couldn't get it.
That's why we can't talk our mind, because
and he was like, it's because it's just showing you, it's not about but the postcodes. It's deeper than that. It's talking about why are people picking up knives? It's because the guy's mum's at home on crack and he comes home and there's no food, so he's got to go out and get food and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh. I just was like dumbfounded that I just didn't even think any of that.
Yeah,
as
my
I'm
sister
watching
said
the
something
movie.
similar. She told me that the postcode beef is a backdrop to a deeper situation.
totally,
If I watch it like that, then but you see, when it's close to home like that, I'll get triggered easily, because I'll be there like, that don't go like that. That don't go like that. That don't go like that. What do you mean? So it just turns
Did you
me
watch
to
Top Boy?
Yeah,
And what did you think about that one?
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked
Did you
it
think
for what it was.
I think it was a better representation.
I wouldn't say it was accurate.
Would you say it's just a step in the right direction for the culture?
Yeah.
That's it. And I think as well for Blue Story, the reason you've got to be hyper careful, and you're even, which I think is good, you're even caring enough to protect it by not watching it, because you know it's a step in the right direction. Despite anything, at least it's getting something out.
I'm happy it's made.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Big up everyone involved.
Exactly.
I don't know if I should talk about this yet. Nah, leave it.
That can be part 2.
No, something big's coming on Amazon.
No, I mean part 2 when you come on again.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
On time this
thank you.
time.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Do you know what? I literally walked past the station and went to that. I don't even know.
Don't worry, it's not about quantity, quality. You've got good
Thank
quality.
you very
in
much.
there.
Thank you very much.
Right, we're going to end with some shout outs. Feel free to shout out anything you want. We'll go first so that you get an idea
All right,
for it.
cool.
Okay, I want to shout out, because I said you beat me to it last time, which I'm still not over. I want to shout out Muller Juice, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he's got his uncle who's in the YouTube channel is called Mad Unks, and the most recent episode they did, oh my God. Me and my boyfriend showed it to me, so shout out him for showing me. And we were standing in the kitchen, like on the iPad because it's on charge, but we couldn't sit down because it was just so funny. You had to stand and watch it, and you're getting crook neck and everything, but you just can't stop because it was hilarious. So shout out your uncle. Brilliant.
That's jokes. Okay. My shout out is Sideman All Day. He does these Love Island reviews, and obviously the Winter Love Island is back and he's doing these reviews, but he's like proper upgraded. Like he's got
Yeah, the IGTV
green
now.
screen. It's an IGTV. He's got
The
green
studio.
screen, the studio. It's proper sick, and they literally make me laugh. Like I look forward to watching them every day.
That's almost better than the actual thing, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a girl on there. Her name's Shanice.
Shanice.
Yeah, and the names that he calls it, like he's like storage box, storage unit,
Solar
solar
system.
system. It's just so funny. Yeah, so my shout out, Sideman All Day.
I want to shout out this charity fund called Avida, and it's basically like So say there's someone in anywhere across the world, but say, for example, there's a lot of people there that are from Cambodia or something. And then there's a woman there who wants to set up a business. She wants to start up like a sewing business, but she needs to buy all the equipment. She needs to buy the machinery. She needs to buy the materials. And basically they will say how much they need, and you put in your money. You can put in like, as much as you want, and until she reaches that money, and then you actually get returns on your investment once she makes money in the business and stuff, and then it gets paid back.
So it's like a GoFundMe with shares.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool.
And you can
like
invest
that
into
before.
whatever. There's loads of different types of business. Some people actually try and set up like a proper business or a type of bank or something like that. And yeah, you can choose who you invest in it. And I think
How
it's
did
really
you
cool.
find that? What were you Googling?
My sister told me about it. I don't know. She does it all the time. And so I'm going to start.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
idea.
nice.
Yeah.
All right, I want to big up a company called Locum, and they do Scrum Master training. So it's like some sort of project management stuff. So if you're seeking a career change,
Yes.
it's lo-kem.com. Locum, and the Instagram is lo.kem.
Okay.
We'll put that on the Instagram.
Yes, thank you. And thank you so much for making the
thanks for
time.
having
Yeah,
me.
this
I
is
enjoyed it.
amazing.
Honesty,
I enjoyed it.
priceless.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And please share when the episode comes
Yeah,
out and
definitely,
everything.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brett, do a good edit, yeah?
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
Because you had
Excuse
me
me,
looking
I
crazy
edit.
on
We did the
on
I
editing.
edit.
We did the editing.
Okay, yeah, alright, cool.
Don't worry, we got you.
Yeah, get my good side.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
for watching.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.